Hi, everybody. My name is Andrew Columbro. I'm currently a Cronkite student at Arizona State University, and I'm currently an intern at Saavi Services for the Blind. And welcome to another episode of Meet the Blind. I'm here. Joined alongside me is Oscar Corella. Oscar, how are you doing this morning?
Excellent. How are you?
I'm doing great. Start to a new week, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. Oscar, what is your role at Saavi?
I'm the IT analyst here at Saavi. Been here for
Nice.
5 years.
Gotcha. And so, what is like a day in the life as somebody who works for IT for Savvy?
It's very interesting. Never a dull moment because in a company this size, you get to have your hand in the entire IT department. So if it's not network administration, it's fixing somebody's keyboard. We do everything from desktop and laptop support to server support, networking, um, cell phone repair, and just about everything else. So that's keeps me entertained.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I know you have a lot of background working in like education because of your past experience with professional interpreting for a school district here in Arizona. Can you talk a little bit more about that like experience for you and how you got into that?
You know, uh, my experience with education has always been around um, in support of education. So from about 2010 to 2015, I did a professional interpreting, and one of my bigger clients was Tucson Unified School District, um, and so I did all kinds of everything from parent teacher conferences to the board of directors meetings, and that was my experience. So I've always played a support role in education, which is good. I enjoyed it. It was a good time in my life, and I definitely enjoyed interpreting. I also did interpreting for attorneys, and did some court interpreting and conference interpreting. It was very interesting.
Yes, and for what language were you
Spanish,
in Spanish?
yeah, Spanish interpreter.
Nice. And just got to ask, that seems like a very wide range of different events or different situations. What was your personal favorite to interpret for? Or which one was the hardest? Which one was the easiest?
I would say that court interpreting um, is is the hardest because you have to prepare ahead of time because the the field is so varied, and the subjects that you touch on are so varied that you have to make sure you're properly prepared ahead of time, if at all possible. And it's not always possible, but um, it's I I don't know. I think either. Oh, sorry about that.
No worries.
Um, I would say that either medical interpreting or court interpreting have been the most challenging, therefore probably the funnest.
I understand. Yeah, no, that definitely seems like something that would be very hard and difficult. But alongside, away from work, I want to talk a little bit more about your hobbies and what you do outside of work. I do hear that you are in a band, which I think is very cool and very impressive. I love the guitar myself, and I know you play the bass guitar. Talk a little bit about your upcoming or your upbringing within how you got into playing music.
Um, Man, I dabbled in music my entire childhood, since I can remember, and then at the age of 14, I started playing professionally. So it's been kind of a sideline career for me for most of my life. Now it's I've slowed down, and I see it a little more as a hobby. But even just a few years ago, maybe 8, 10 years before, it was more of a professional uh, venture for me. I took it fairly serious. I'm still serious about it, but I don't really look to touring or doing a whole lot of traveling with music anymore. I think I've had enough of that. I don't mind just playing around Arizona now and just being close to home. That's enough for me at this point. I played keys for, oh goodness, almost 20 years, and then I switched to the bass guitar, and I'm happy there. I got a little burned out on keyboards, but I like bass, so I'm having fun there.
Yeah, you said that you had gone on tour before, like probably, correct me if I'm wrong, but would you travel around the United States? And if so, would you play in any festivals or any like specific venues that were really memorable for you?
Yeah, I did a bunch of touring early in my career, probably from about 18 to 28, maybe about 10 years. Um, I recorded about 3 albums, and
Oh, wow.
had a record. The record company did some touring for promotion, promoting the albums. Um, it was good. Mainly, just the U.S. and parts of Mexico. Nothing extreme. It was, but I can definitely remember, you know, um, some tours through uh, Chicago, Iowa, Minnesota, um, Philadelphia, back down through Texas, hitting Colorado, bunch of work in California. Um, it was a good time. Um, some lean times there. Not all touring is well paid. Let me tell you,
Yeah, I've heard it's a grind.
yeah,
Especially on
it
the road.
can be, and it doesn't always pay very very well. So it can be pretty lean. Not all the time, but it can. But it's still fun. And when you're young, and it can be entertaining. It's fun.
Yeah, just for a little background, like, what band, like, what was the name of your band, and like, what type of music was it?
All my touring was done with Latin bands. I played for several years. My initial band was a band called Gitano, which means gypsy. And then all of my touring and my record contract with a band called Galope, which means gallop. Um, and then after that, it was just mainly local stuff, different bands, Latido. I currently play with a band called Sismo, Arizona, at this point, and it keeps me entertained. Like I said,
No, yeah, I think that's great that you're able to be able to incorporate music into your life. I know a lot of people use music as, I mean, it's just a great hobby, and it's also a great way to ease the mind as well. I feel like it's something that everybody can relate to.
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, Oscar, I think this wraps up this episode of Meet the Blind. Oscar, thank you so much for your time and effort. I really appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.
You too.
And remember, here at Saavi, it's not what you can see, it's about who you are. Have a good one.